All right, here we go. All right, so we are on week 2. So this is a heavy week, meaning I think there's a lot of things to do, or at least as far as getting our essay together. So here's how this is going to go. I'm going to break up this video into um, probably 3 different segments. So the first one I'm going to talk about the discussion posts for the week, and that has to do with counter argument. Then I'll talk about the assignment for the week, and that has a bunch of things in it. But the two of the big ones are the thesis statement and then the introduction paragraph. So here are all the things for the whole week, right? You've got there's the self-test for run-on sentences, and I'm always encouraging people to take that because it doesn't harm your grade because it doesn't count, but it's such a good quick check just to for the very basic grammar stuff. Then there's the brief introduction where it basically says, okay, so now we're continuing to work on your research essay. And so the lesson is going to be about the different things to do to try to help you get your essay started, meaning basically having a draft of a thesis statement and 3 main ideas, things like that. Then we have the discussion, which is counter argument. Then we have the actual assignment that will deal with those things. So here we go. The discussion. So it goes like this. Here's the instructions, right? In 2 rich paragraphs, answer the following as related to your stance for your argument essay. Okay, so whatever your subject is, whatever thing you're thinking about arguing your position about the climate and so on, right? That's what we're focusing on. Meaning, the first thing you do is you're trying to find an opposing point within the article. So you don't actually need to find a whole article that opposes your view, right? You can just look in the article, in one of your articles, right, that talks about your subject or whatever it is you're supporting or arguing. And in there will be somebody bringing up an opposing point. And so you want to find that, and you want to sort of I mean, I guess I would pull it, if you could pull a quote, so that would be the best thing. But anyway, so you're trying to look for an opposing. So if I'm doing, um, I also made up a one for me as well. Like I'll show that. Let's see here. Mm-hmm. There's, just want to get and I'll introduce this a few times probably, but so I made this group document. And all it is basically a place for you to put a thesis that you're thinking of and try to think of and 3 main ideas. And then if you want, you can do the basically what are the issues or problems you'll deal with and what are some of the solutions. Depending on your topic, this, may or may not apply. But so my main idea is that burning of fossil fuels must be made illegal. Okay, something like that, which is a little bit much, but um and so what I'm going to do is, if I'm doing this exercise for the discussion board, let's see what else I have here. So I have my main thesis is burning fossil fuels needs to be made illegal because, and I'm very big on this idea of using the word because in your thesis and also in your 3 main supporting ideas. It forces you to sort of complete a whole argument statement. So it's not just you're not I don't know, the federal government should legalize marijuana and you're done. Because that's only sort of part of it. You want to be because that will help the economy or whatever your main reason is. And then you have 3 supporting reasons. So because is a great way, just making yourself shape your sentence using that is a good idea. So ideally, I have my thesis and I have my 3 main ideas, and all I need to do is find an opposing point to one of these things, right? So one of the things I say is people will be able to adapt quickly to the elimination because the pandemic has prepared the population to adapt to sudden radical change. So I'm going to make some sort of weird argument there about um, fossil fuels companies can make this shift because of they have the money to do this and so on. So I need to find an opposing view somewhere, essentially, because what we're practicing is the counter argument. So you find it and then you articulate it. So you state it. That's the very first thing you do is you state it. Concession is a part where you find a way to agree with some part of what the argument is. So that you can be like, well, this part of it's true. And then you come around and you refute the rest of it. So you're basically being like, I couldn't see your point here, but ultimately you're totally wrong because my idea is way stronger and better, something like that. Here's my little thing I made for it. Next one though. All right, so 3 stages. You state the opposing point, right? So you introduce a criticism that's opposed to the point that you're making. Concession, you find some way to agree with some aspect of the criticism. And then refutation, you reaffirm your own point, right? Using logic. Actually, the best way to do it is to have actual evidence. Suddenly, I don't like my things so much. Let me try to think of what I can do. Because one of my solutions is that we're gonna, I guess, we replace, gasoline cars with electric vehicles. So I'm going to use that one as an example. So that's what I'm going to be. So then I need to find somewhere there will be an argument that's going against that. So I'm going to be saying this. Somebody's going to say, for example, I don't know, um, it's too expensive. Okay, this one's the one I'll probably do. So the idea, so here's what I'm going to, so I'm pretending that I come across someone who's like, yeah, you think electric cars are so great, but the fact is the electricity that you're using to charge the battery is being made by power plants that basically burn coal or do other polluting things. Doesn't matter. Oh, this is okay. So that's what I'm going to, this is me identifying the other side. And this is how I would probably phrase it in my essay too. Like some people think this. Okay. So then I have to have then there's a concession part. And so what I will do is I'll acknowledge the fact that that is true at the moment, right? I'll say something like, while that's currently true, the other part of the plan is to have power plants convert to like solar and wind power or whatever. And maybe this will help that happen faster or something. Right. So I'm going to agree, be like, you're right. That's true that there's still pollution because power plants are still polluting and making electricity. But the idea is to stop the burning of coal or burning of things and instead transfer to solar power something. And essentially that's the thing. So, but what you're trying to do is you need to do it what I just did sort of longer, basically, right? Because you want two sort of in-depth paragraphs. Right. So you can, and I could probably make mine into that, but I'm not going to do that this second. But like, so you want two big paragraphs. What I would do is like one of your paragraphs can be explaining the opposing point, right? If you can really figure out what your opposing point is, um, and you find it, and then you sort of explain what their whole deal is, what their point is, and then maybe you do the concession part, and then maybe you just do the second paragraph as the whole refuting it. Anyway, but that's up to you, however you want to divide it. But you want to make sure that you have two paragraphs for the discussion board.